Hey folks, it's your main man Ian. I'm here with Jeff, and I hurt my back, but I still wanted to do a video right now to talk about this because I thought this was so important. Jeff was in here training inside, and what we noticed is that this dog really needs to understand a couple things. One thing is, hey, when we put you in your bed, you're going to stay in your bed, and that action of being in your bed is the opposite of what he's doing right here. This exercise of having her walk with us and just having her walk with us, getting her a little bit frustrated about that food, maybe till she gets distracted. This is one of the most important things we can be doing right now with her, especially inside of the house and in these areas where she typically is so distracted.
Let's go.
We want to kind of separate, hey, you're in your bed and we're using the leash to keep you there, or you're tied back. There's really not much food involved. Or, hey, if you want to be with us, we'll have food, but we want a high level of focus.
Let's go.
Good.
This is way more important at this point than her sits.
Good.
It's just having her learn to follow us around, look up at us, and feel good about this. Nice. Now, the other thing we're going to do is Jeff's going to toss some food, let her eat it, and then he's going to say, leave it when she finishes it, and he's going to tug the leash, and she's going to come back to him and get an even bigger reward.
Great.
So he tosses like one piece of food,
Leave it.
Good. Gives her like 4 pieces of food. So this is going to help her understand, hey, if we tug you on the leash away from stuff, or we take you away from stuff, it's really a leave it command that we want her to understand right now.
Good.
And if we practice this with the leash, and we practice this and we give her something better when we say leave it after she leaves it, what we'll notice is the dog's going to willingly leave it eventually. So often we say leave it, but we don't really have anything to give the dog. And early on they go, leave it? Why would I leave it?
Good.
So it's basically a game of toss one piece of food, say leave it, she comes back, she gets more.
Let's go.
Good.
Now it was interesting at first when we brought her in here because she was so distracted. She wanted to go check everything out, and he and I were both in here, and it was clear that she was just playing us both. Like, she was just like, oh, hey, look at me. What can I get from you? You want to pet me? And then I was like, no, I want to play with you. And she's like, I don't want to play with you. What's up with him? Maybe he'll pet me. Maybe he'll give me something. So inside, it might be important that, if somebody's working with her, it's like one person is working with her and everybody else might be helpful to that person by kind of ignoring her during that time.
Great.
It seems like when there's multiple people focusing on her at once, it's hard for her to understand who she should look to and who she should get feedback from,
Leave it.
Good.
especially if, it's something new or it's something different. Like even me, she typically does well with me, but in here in the house with me and Jeff, she's like, I don't even know who to look at. Do I look at you? Do I look at Jeff? Like,
Good.
so now he's just paying her and saying, look, you're staying with me. That's great.
Let's go.
Good.
This is where he could also even say break, toss the food. Nice. Look at this. Break and then reward with tossing food. So you could actually reward her with freedom for looking up at you. So she looks up at you. Good, good, good. Break. You toss food.
Sit. Break. Leave it.
Good.
Let's go. Wait.
Good.
Let's go.
And you could see he's trying to keep the leash so it's not getting too long and wrapped around her feet, because you can't really tell, but throughout this whole process, we are just ever so slightly tugging on the leash when she gets away from us. We're even, having her just associate the leash pressure with being with us.
Good.
And so just by making these turns and walking in an unpredictable manner and kind of tugging her towards us and tugging her towards the food, we're really helping her understand, oh, the leash is pulling me away from things that are not of value, and it's pulling me towards the thing that is available and it is of the utmost value. And you could do the same thing with the toy, where you can actually tug her away from,
Break.
you could tug her away from something she's not allowed to have, and then when she comes back to you, give her the toy. This focus, believe it or not, is more important than anything. more important than sit, more important than lay down, is literally just her staring at you,
Let's go.
obsessively walking next to you, going, where is the food? Where is the food? Where is the food?
Good. 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 Good.
With anything involving, trying to get her to stay, we isolate that to the bed.
Leave it.
Good.
Other stuff is just monkey drills. Sit, lay down. We're doing that. We make it fun. We make it exciting. Walking with us, we have food, we have a toy, and you do the same thing with a toy. You'd have a toy like this, you're walking next to her, she's looking up at you, and then you give her the toy. Like, I can't emphasize enough how important this is. And if it's in the house, the dog struggles, you do this in the house. You show the dog looking up at me. It will frustrate you at times because I won't give you exactly what you want. I know you want a bunch of kibble right now. I'm just going to give you 2 kibbles. And this frustration is actually creating an obsession with Jeff right now. And she's going, man, he's not giving me what I want. I want all this food. And he's going, no, I'll give you 3 pieces of kibble.
Let's go.
So just letting her challenge herself to say, hey, can you stay with me? Can you stay with me?
Good.
And then rewarding her when she gets over the challenge. It's going to make it very interesting for her to stay with us, to focus on us, even in places where it's highly distracting.
Good girl.
So
Good.
bottom line, you do this, you're going to have her stay in her bed, not really using much food in the bed at this point.
Yes. Good. Place.
And one person at a time is really going to work with her. And, even if that's one person is, hey, Lacey, I'm snuggling with you right now, then it has to be clear. You're snuggling her. Like, I was snuggling her on the floor today, and then he came in, and I could tell if he had been in here, she would have been like, no, I'm not going to snuggle with you. I want to go up to him and see what he's doing. But with him not in here, when I snuggled her and I said, no, I'm not letting you go. I want to snuggle my puppy right now. I want some puppy time. She said, oh, okay. And she relaxed. So, if one person says, I want to snuggle Lacey right now, and that's their time with her, then that's going to be their time, And if one person says, I want to play with Lacey, then that's what they're doing. And if she decides she's just going to, go off and try to, go interact with somebody else, we got to be clear. Hey, Lacey, this is your time. You're hanging out with him. He's watching you right now. It's his shift with you. He's taking care of you. And hey, if you're with him, you're going to do what he says. If he's just hanging out, you're hanging out. If he's playing, you're playing. I might be over here making pasta or SpaghettiOs, but sorry, no SpaghettiOs. So, really good session here. I'm so glad it rained because we got to see her inside. We got to see how she struggles. Now, just to be clear here, this is a high level, having her standing down. And although sometimes we have her standing down and we are going to be using food like we are there, there's a lot of other times we're going to be having her, like I said, we're phasing out food in the placemat. So it's okay to use food here occasionally, but,
Good.
we're really just saying, hey, just hang out there. It's kind of boring. We might come and give you some food occasionally, but eventually there won't be any food. The second thing we were able to see is, yes, multiple people in the household. She definitely is different, and we could see it's so important to be clear. Like we are here. Hey, I might be here, standing here. I was eating my lunch earlier. Hey, you got to work with him. You're working with who you're working with.
Good.
And lastly, just building up this focus inside where we saw that she wasn't used to doing this inside. She was like, I don't know, inside, man, I'm at Disneyland. This is fun. What's going on? And it was clear to say, no, I know we're at Disneyland, but now we're in line for, well, I guess we're not at Disneyland right now. We're at school. So, okay, folks, hope you have a great day. And remember, as always, we don't blame them. We train them. And this little Lacey pup, just 10 weeks old. Look at this amazing focus. Look at this amazing level of engagement with the handler for kibble.